note because they've been coming in back and forth. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ms. Joyce. I just wanted everyone to be able to hear each other.
Sure. No, I'm interested in getting certification. I didn't hear the beginning of the statements because I was having trouble getting into the breakout room, but I would like to know what is the process for becoming certified. I'm a new startup from the beginning. I haven't really had my business a year yet, but I would like to know what would be the next step for me.
So there are definitely exceptions to the 1 year in business if you can provide evidence that you've been working in the service that your business is providing for an extended period of time already. So you can submit that with an application if you're not quite a year yet. So all of the rest of the eligibility would hold as well in terms of, you know, minority owned or woman owned, which I'm looking at you and it appears you are both. So you would be eligible to apply for both MWBE. And as long as you can provide all the rest of the documentation that's required and answer the questions on the application, generally we'll still consider, even if you haven't been a year in business, if you've been in the if you have the job experience of the service that you provide. So for you know, an example would be if you've been working as an employee providing services in the field of, I don't know, well, let's just pick IT, and you decided to create your own IT company, doing what you've been doing for the past 15 years as an employee, that will be taken into consideration, even if you're not quite a year yet in your business. So you can still apply and just show that. Otherwise, you would have to wait a year.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm Yvonne Secreto. I am an RN, and I have a stress management and a mental health business. And I was about 80% complete with my application right before COVID. And I was not published properly. I didn't have the number for the publishing, and I had to start that process all over again. But I've gotten the publishing completed now, and I just feel overwhelmed with having to start all over again. And you know, I'm just not sure, like, you know, where to start, what to do. I went into the office when I was getting it done before. I took my binder and she went through it, and you know, so to go on the website now and just, you know, start filling out applications, is there a place I can go to, is my question.
Well, it really would be, if this is New York City certification, it would be the same place you went to before. So we are accepting appointments to come into the office if you want to sit with a certification specialist at one of our business solutions center. And they can really walk you through all of the requirements so that you can make sure that you've got your information as well as all of the supporting documents that need to be uploaded through the portal, which is now the required place to apply. But yes, you can definitely get assistance prior to submitting your application. And I actually recommend it so that you don't go in there and maybe miss a question or miss a document, because that then will delay the whole process. So I would say make an appointment to sit with a certification specialist at one of the business solution centers closest to you. And I don't know where your business is located, but we have them in all 5 boroughs. And you can come in and sit with them and they will walk you through that whole process. And bring your binder, because that stuff will probably still apply, except maybe like your tax returns, which need to be the more recent ones.
All right.
And we also have certification partners if the solution centers doesn't work for you. So we have like New York Women's Chamber of Commerce that are great partners in helping with the certification process and have been helping us for years to do that. Depending on where you're located, there's like Staten Island Business Outreach Center. There's the Bronx, New Bronx Chamber of Commerce that can help you. So, just
Okay, that's good to know.
definitely do that. I highly recommend that versus just going in blind.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yes,
I have a question.
I'm sorry, I have a question. My hand's been up.
Okay.
I just really want to know real quickly. I had my EIN number since 2019,
Mhm.
but I got my business certificate in 2021.
Okay.
How would I still be considered a year or not? There's a year, you have to show a year of business, so.
Right. And yet if you're doing it under your, what did you get, an LLC?
No, ma'am, it's sole proprietor.
Oh, sole proprietor. Okay. But you've had your EIN since 2019?
I just changed the name of my business.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, I like I said, if you've got previous experience doing the business before the year, then that would be considered. So I would say you should apply and just, show that you've been actually, and if you have evidence of doing business since 2019, you can actually support your application with that documentation. So don't let it hinder you, because if you've been doing the work prior to being in business a year, we'll also look at that as part of your application.
Okay, one other quick question.
Uh-huh.
The invoice, as far as I'm trying to understand the process for the invoice, because some of the work that I've done is volunteer as a consultant.
Well, that's still considered doing the work, right? It may not be
Yeah, but there was no
necessarily paid
invoice.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, but we're looking for the skill set too, right? So if you've been doing the work that your company provides, we'll consider that. We'll consider
Okay,
that.
thank you. Thank
So
you so
just
much.
show some evidence of having done that work.
Okay. All right,
Like
thank
we ask for a resume, put that on your resume as having done that specific type of service that your company now provides.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, sorry, I'm not keeping good track of who's raising their hand, and we have so many. I think Rhonda, did
Scott
we just
raised her
finish
hands
with you?
after me.
Okay, Sabrina?
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you so much for this platform. I have an S Corp. We've been in this, a New York S Corp.
Mhm.
And I've been in business for 5 years now. And I want to, you mentioned in terms of revenue that no revenue is required for, like if you're in the state. I have a New York S Corp, but I'm actually now residing in Florida. So
Okay.
can you elaborate in terms of the revenue? And I'm still generating revenue in New York State. My CPA still files for New York State. So can you elaborate more about that, please? But I have no certification, of course. That's why I'm here.
Got it. Okay, so we're talking about the New York City certification. I'm only representing the city, not the state.
I understand that.
So the city, if you're not physically located or have no physical location in the 5 boroughs of New York City, one of the criteria for certification is that you have some type of financial presence in New York City. So you might will be asking for 25% of your revenues to be in New York City. So that's the revenue requirement for folks not physically located in the 5 boroughs or in the I should say the 13 county footprint that we will entertain for certification without revenue requirements.
Okay, so it's 25% of revenue, of my total revenue that is being generated from New York City and the surrounding areas?
In the 5 boroughs of New York City.
In the 5 boroughs of New York City. Okay,
Yeah.
so 25% of my business total. So if 100%, then I'm definitely qualified for it.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And who should, Ashley, did you have your
Hi.
hand up?
I
Okay.
do.
Apologies if I'm going out of order. I really did not see whose hand went. So many went up at the same time.
So
Sure
I
they went
have,
up at the same time.
I've been working with SCORE mentors who referred me to this program. And I have a question from the standpoint of I am a woman with autism, and my goal is to, I have a master's in social work and I'm working towards a doctorate. And my goal is to be able to empower and educate women that have autism that are getting out of domestic violence, as well as community members, because we present and communicate differently. Are there special resources for individuals with autism or federally recognized disabilities for starting your business?
Oh, that's a terrific question. And I don't know that I can answer that for the city. I'm not aware of specific. I mean, we offer services to anybody, but if you would have certain requirements to access or to participate, we might have something in terms of, hearing aids, translation services, visual aids, that kind of thing, but I'm not sure what you would require in terms of being someone with autism. So we might need to get into more detail about that, what you would need. But otherwise, the resources are resources for everybody, who's interested. If you're based in New York City, there might be some federal programs or state programs that I'm not aware of. But yeah, I mean, we could.
Excuse me, Miss Lewis, can you please mute your line? Miss Lewis, can you please mute your line?
It's like where you
And
are.
Anthony,
I think it's
Anthony,
Everyone, please mute your phones or
Yeah,
your
listen,
computers.
please.
Yeah, everyone should
Noted.
mute until they're speaking.
Whoever is the host, you can mute them.
I'm not
Yes,
sure
you
who
could
can do
press,
that.
you could press mute. You can't press mute all.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can press mute all, and then you just
Mhm.
ask them to unmute whoever
Yeah.
wants to
Yes.
So-
speak.
Thank
I
you
don't know.
much.
Yeah. I will let Mary take care of that because she's hosting. I'm not the host. Ashley, I'm sorry, we got interrupted. As I mentioned, I'm not sure that we have anything specifically for folks with autism, but if you want to talk further about what requirements you would have, I may be able to get some answers for you on that front. And with regards to federal resources or state resources, we'd have to kind of look into that as well, but maybe our PTAC could help you understand if there's resources for you as well on those fronts. So did I give my email address out? If I didn't, I'll put it in the chat and then you can email me directly and we can try and set up a communication with our PTAC team. So I'll enter it into the chat right now.
Thank you.
You know what I'll do is I'll just add it to the handout, with
Okay.
those wonderful tips you gave. Let me add the email to it so you don't have to do it.
All right, well, I put it in the chat. So if anybody wants to take it from there. And then Mary will have it on my handout for SBS's services. Thanks, Ashley.
I see a
Okay,
number of hands raised.
yeah, I
Yes.
don't know who to go to next.
We could
Tarsha?
do- I don't know how your order is, but did you
Yes.
speak to Rhonda?
I
Yes.
think yes. So
Rhonda,
Rhonda,
yes.
can you take your hand down from your, because we're looking at it as still raised, Rhonda, if I answered your question.
Tarsha?
But if you have another question.
I'm open. My mic's open now. So thank you
Yes.
so much. Appreciated the panel and everything was awesome. My question is about conflicts of interest. What if you already work for a city or you work for an agency that you would like to provide services for those CBOs
Yeah.
because you have that skill?
Yeah, I believe there is some type of conflict of interest there. So I guess it just depends on the agency that you're working for and then the company that you're trying to set up and what type of services you provide. So I would have to refer you back to my certification unit with regard to that. If you're looking to get certified as a business and actually do business with the city for which you work for, I don't know if that's actually possible. So You know, it just, I think it'll depend, but I guess there's nothing preventing you from establishing your business and possibly doing business with the state or the federal government if you don't work for them.
I do not, so that definitely works.
So that
Okay.
might help, that might work.
Okay, thank you so
But
much.
also, you know, there's the private sector as well.
Indeed, thank you.
Sure.
By the way, a question
Okay.
that just came up for
Uh-huh.
everyone is where will the handouts be? You will be getting them either tomorrow or the day after. They're going to be sent out along with the video recording.
Okay. So on my screen, I see Mabel as the next hand up.
Yes, hi. I was
Hi.
actually typing my question in, so good timing. Thank you for all the information. It's all been great. I've been writing a lot of notes, but here's my question. I submitted my WMB certification back in September 2021, and nothing ever got done with it. I go online periodically to check to see if they have any questions or if I was denied submission, and there's nothing. It's like at a standstill. And I'm just wondering, like, what do we do? Because I was told you get it within 6 months. And I mean, obviously it's a lot longer than that. And again, I've never even gotten an email or anything in regards to maybe information being missing.
Okay, maybe I just want to clarify. Did you submit an application to the city or to the state?
To the portal of the WMBE, which I don't know. I want to say state because I live in Westchester County and I want
Okay.
everything. So I want to say state.
All right. So I can't speak for the state, but I am very familiar with the state's process. And I will tell you that it has been taking them up to 2 years to turn around certification applications.
Okay.
So if they haven't sent you anything, I encourage anybody still waiting for their state certification to email them. They have an email address on their site and it's Empire State Development or esd.ny.gov is their website to go to. And they should have their MWBE, but I want to say it's MWBE certification at esd.ny.gov and inquire about the status of your application. Generally, they reply, and at least they'll know that you're trying to, move it along.
Okay.
So that's what I would recommend. But yes, don't be surprised that it's taking so long and then they haven't, responded to you. That has been the case with the state.
Okay. And then the information that you will be forwarding us would have the information submitted in the city as well then.
I consider the handout that I put together is specifically for the city.
Okay.
Not for the state.
Okay. Okay.
But you'll get a separate document, that will have state information.
Okay.
Right.
Great. So you should have all that.
Yeah. And it's all, I live in Westchester County, but that doesn't matter as long as I'm going to work in the city, correct? Or does the business have to have a New York City address as well?
No, that's
sorry, you want to answer that, Paul?
no, I mean, what I was gonna say, as long as there's different ways to prove that you are contributing, your sales to the city. So whether you have an employee in the city, your actual sales are in the city, you have a bank account in the city, or you even have a presence. But as long as your business is in the surrounding counties of New York City, so like Nassau County, Suffolk, Westchester, and even 3 counties in New Jersey.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because primarily most of my consulting has been in New York City, Bronx, and in Harlem, but the actual address of the business is in Westchester County. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
I do want to clarify, you're going for state certification. Do you already have New York City certification?
Not for the WMB. I do not.
So if you're interested in doing business with any of the city agencies,
right,
then you would want to consider the city certification as well.
Okay.
It's separate from the state.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? I am Tara? Or LM
Yes,
Tara?
hi, good
Sorry.
afternoon. My name is Diana Belalcazar from I Am Tara. We are a sustainable company trying to eliminate replace single-use plastic with biodegradables or compostables. I have a question about the prior experience, the 1-year experience that it's required. Can that experience be out of the country, in another country?
The work experience?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think that they would consider it. So you might as well include it. You know, the worst that can
Okay.
happen is they say no.
Oh, and then, okay, and then a business plan, could that be part of that, of that experience, or?
What do you mean by business plan? Putting
Like a
together a business plan?
Yes,
Is that part of the work that you would be providing?
yes.
Any work experience that you have related to what you're selling in terms of services should be included on your resume and a statement stating as such if you're not a year yet in business.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
For everybody that has been addressed, can you lower your raised hand so that we can tell who hasn't been addressed yet? Diana Amadis, I see your hand up.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I've learned so much by just the questions. My specific question is, when you mentioned the MWBE, you mentioned people of color and then or women. Does that mean that if like my brother and I own a business and he was going to transfer part of it to make me 51%, does that mean that he doesn't have to because he can qualify for the app to apply for the certification?
Sure, it just depends what you want to do. So if you want it to be a minority and woman-owned business, then you should be 51% owner. But if you just want it to be minority owned, it can be your brother.
Okay. And my last question is, what counties in New Jersey?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't know it off the top of my head. I know two, Putnam and Essex, and then I think there's a third county, but yeah. See, Paula knows it. I should have just put that question to you, Paula.
Yeah.
So you said Passaic?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. If I'm not mistaken, does it reach up to Rockland County?
So there's two, I want to say three.
It's like Westchester and I think Rockland County.
It may be. I'm terrible at remembering all of the counties. So, but if you go to nyc.gov/get certified, it'll tell you all of the counties that are included in that footprint. Okay, Vanessa? Unmute yourself and go ahead and ask.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for sharing today. I started the business BU period. It's I consult in menstrual health for girls and women locally, nationally, and internationally. Had my EIN since 2017 and started in 2018, but didn't really get really started until 2019. I tried to register when the program first started, but I ran into issues for not being registered in New York State, although I was registered out of Delaware. So then by 2020, I registered with New York State. But most of my business, because of COVID, has been online. Because in 2020 is when I graduated out of an accelerator, and the little bit of business that I was able to get was all virtual. So that's one. So and I'm working out of home. My business address is out of home because I know,
That's okay.
okay. Okay. So that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. And the online business, did you bill for it?
Yeah. Through Evite.
Yeah. If you
Yeah,
billed
okay.
for it, then that's evidence of business operations.
Okay. And the last question.
And also evidence of business operations is any kind of expenditure that you made for your business, like you bought a computer to do your business. You know, that also is also a example of, you know, documentation of the business being in operation.
Up until 2020, once I registered for New York, I've been paying a third party vendor to file my franchise taxes for me in Delaware. So I've been up to date with the franchise taxes for the federal state, but I haven't done anything yet for New York State, only because it's been such scarcity of work, and I'm really not sure how to move forward with it. Would that be an issue? And if so, is there someone that can help me not look like the business is like completely failed, but I'm just getting started with taxes? Because I don't even know if I should even file taxes if I haven't made a certain amount of money.
Right. I believe there's some other financial statements that you can provide. I would have to refer you to our certification department for, you know, additional help on that. But I know that they have accepted other statements if you don't have, or if you haven't filed your taxes yet, right? So you may be able to provide something else other than the tax cover sheet for your filings.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay, we've got a few more. Paula, I need to actually hop off because I have to do another program of mine. Our bond readiness program is our last class tonight.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave the folks in your capable hands because I know you know more about this than I do.
Julia, but thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you
so
for
helpful.
everything.
You're welcome. I'm going to hop into the other breakout room for just a minute, and then
Okay, great. So just, you
Thank
know,
you
just
both.
leave the room and then Kendra will pop you back in.
We will follow up.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Too.
So take it away, Paula.
Okay, thank you, Mary. We have Sarah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think my question was a little bit in the same vein, or almost the same vein as the last person who spoke. If your LLC is filed out of Delaware, are you still able to qualify for, applying for the certification?
So if you are out of state, you do have to apply to conduct business in the state of New York. So with the Department of State of New York State, you have to do, can't think of the title of it, but it's to conduct
DBA.
business. Yeah, it's to conduct business. So it's like you're applying for like as a foreign corporation or as a foreign LLC. So the New York State is allowing you to conduct business in the state of New York.
So is it best to just file your LLC in New York?
That's when you have to kind of sometimes speak to also a CPA, or even, consult with a CPA, consult with an attorney. It all depends on how you're going to be operating your business in the long run and the majority of your business, because you have to think about like how you're going to file taxes and overall your presence. So I personally have worked with clients in the past that were registered, let's say in the state of Pennsylvania and the state of New Jersey. And really all you have to do is just do the additional filing to conduct a business in New York State.
Okay, and that would be the DBA that people are saying in the chat.
It's not a DBA. I can actually look for the link and send it to you. It's under the Department of State of New York State. So it's a division of corporations and limited liability companies.
Okay. Well, I'll write that down.
I'm gonna put your name down here and so I can send that to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, Joyce.
Hi, thank you. So I have a food business and I'm just wondering, to sell food products to government agencies or schools or hospitals, do I need to get this certification?
Yes and no. So remember, one of the things that we've been seeing is that you don't technically have to be certified in order to sell to the government, in order to apply for these opportunities. The encouragement of getting MWBE certified is because you'll have more access to these opportunities, because at a government level, city level, state level, federal level, they are mandating that departments and agencies do procure the work from certified businesses to provide that, equality opportunity. So if you're certified, you go into a pool of certified businesses that will definitely be reached out to. But is that the only way to sell to the government? No, it does increase your chances. And you have, I always say it's an additional channel of opportunity to have more sales.
Okay.
And
so
one thing, it doesn't cost much to get the certification. There is a legwork, but it's way less than the actual work when you are applying for these RFPs and you are bidding. Some of the panelists that were saying, like, sometime, or I'm sorry, not even the panelists, the business owners, they were saying how work intensive and meeting those deadlines and really reading through and make sure that you qualify. Don't waste your time, don't waste your energy. There's more work involved in the actual RFP. So doing this step of getting certified, it's not, why not do it? And it doesn't, there's no cost to it.
okay, thanks. And I had another question, and you might have answered this. I had to leave the chat, so I'm sorry if I missed it. I started the business in 2017, but because of life, I didn't actually get started until this past September.
That's okay.
So does my year start in September? Like, can I not apply until September?
Your year is 2017, but you have to submit 1 year of tax returns, completed tax returns, and you have to have done sales and provide completed, that you did the sale, that you received the payment within the year.
So if it was just for 2021, if I filed my tax return for 2021, even though I was only technically in business from September to the end of the year, does that count as a?
That's okay. As long as
okay.
that 1 year of business tax return is filed.
Okay, great.
And
thank you.
And then you have to show proof of sales. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Yvonne.
I would like to know how do we, the ladies that were on the previous panel, I'm interested in.
The business owners?
Yeah, the business owners. Do they do any mentoring? Because I'm interested in exploring that with one of them.
I mean, I'm not sure. We're definitely going to be handing out information. You're more than welcome to reach out to them, send an email. I'm not sure what, if they actually do any type of mentoring. They are focused on their business, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt to just reach out.
Now, what about you having actual mentoring programs? Do you have that?
So I'm with the company Capital. We don't have that program. We're a nonprofit small business lender, CDFI, but Mary and her team at SCORE, they can definitely guide you to some more mentoring programs. Now there is are you saying mentoring program for just MWBE or for other business?
Just in general,
Yeah,
really
so,
for health.
So SCORE. So
health
SCORE.
and well.
So SCORE will definitely be it.
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, I'm going to actually search the link for to conduct business in the state of New York, and then I'll put it in the chat because I think we're going to be moving from the breakout room shortly.
Paula? Oh, okay, because my screen shifted, sorry. So could you make sure that Mary gets that link as well to include with all the other information that's going to be?
Sure, yeah.
Share with us what your takeaway was. Go ahead and unmute yourself and just let us know.
Yeah, what did you think of it? Were there any surprises?
So unmute yourself, click to unmute yourself, and then
It
let
was
us
very
know.
informative and much needed, and I appreciate it. I do think something I'm interested in, something I got from the business owners about networking. It is really true. We network by passing out cards with the hopes that somebody may call back or some type of connect. But to actually doing a proper networking class, like how to really network, it may be is more of how do you serve, how can I help you really succeed as well. Yeah, but I just thought the overall whole session was amazing. Thank you so much for putting it together.
Just so you know, we're going to have a New York Women in Business webinar entirely on networking, on high quality networks. So that will be in a couple months, and that will be with our own Rebecca Maxwell, who will be leading tonight's networking, which is great. Can we hear from somebody else on how
like
you
to say something.
Yes.
I actually was disappointed about one thing. I was very grateful to the panel. I really got a lot out of what they were saying. I'm hoping I can connect with one of the panel members. But I am a nurse. I work in mental health and stress management. And I've worked with SCORE. I just asked about mentoring, and I've worked with SCORE, and I just, the one lady, I actually went to her office, we met, you know, nothing came out of it. It wasn't a good fit. I don't even know if she knew anything about what I was doing. She was more like a financial person. I went to a mentoring class online, and they were talking about restaurants, you know, and I'm like in healthcare. So I'm just having a really hard time finding a good mentor.
Well, it shouldn't be that difficult. You
I'm
know,
going to put
Yvonne,
my email into the chat, and you can reach out to me directly, and we will find you a better mentor fit. That's not a problem.
yeah, one thing I do want to say, Yvonne, is, you know, I am a SCORE mentor. And there's a certain amount of chemistry that occurs when people meet together. It's a little bit like online dating. You know, when you first meet someone, it sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't right away. And Rebecca does a lot of mentoring as well. I think she'll say the same thing. So just because one mentor didn't work out doesn't mean to say mentoring isn't going to work out. And expertise, of course, is part of it. But a lot of it is just a meeting of the minds, because in most cases, mentors can help you in more than just one area. It's if you can understand what you're really trying to do, what your goals are. And what we try to do is help you reach it. And the path is not always linear. So what I suggest you do is touch base with Kendra and tell her a little bit more about what you're looking for specifically. And And then, we can take it from there. Rebecca, anything you want to add to that? Because you work with a lot of clients.
No, I think you're spot on there, Mary. I think it's just because one mentoring relationship hasn't worked doesn't mean that they all won't. And I think Kendra's suggestion of reaching out to her and seeing whether there is somebody that's maybe closer to the experience that you're looking for may well be helpful. So I would really encourage you to reach out to Kendra.
And the more you tell people about what you're looking for, we had chapter meeting just this morning, talking about how some people, on their description of their problem, they'll say, I want an LLC. That doesn't tell us a whole lot about, what challenges are. So it truly is like online dating, to the extent that the more you reveal about yourself, the better a match we can make.
Thank you.
Amber, in answer to your question, unfortunately, our expert panelists are no longer on the line with us. So I understand you're an artist, and I don't know if your services would be appropriate for MWBE. I just have no idea. I'm not saying it's not, I just have no idea. So Kat has your hand raised. So Kat, would you please unmute yourself and let us know what you'd like to say?
Yes, hi. So this is to help Yvonne and all the other women that are here. So you have SCORE mentorship. I've been with SCORE for many years, and you can meet with one, you can meet with someone said they have 5 SCORE mentors. So take the opportunity, find one that actually is in health and wellness. There's a few. And even if they're not, there are others who have own businesses that can help out. I'm in a health and wellness business as well. You have New York City BE organization that offers mentorship. You have NASDAQ that offers mentorship to women. And so there's so many, you really have to put in the work to find. And I'm building my own team, and I want a certain amount of mentors on my team and peer mentorships and stuff. So not just having mentors, but try to find peer-to-peer mentorship as well. And then also have accountability partners and stuff as well. So that's what I've learned is the best way to actually have a team to build your business and to kind of be more successful with all of that help. So that's just my add-in.
Great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. So before we move on to networking, let's have one more person share their thoughts on today's MWBE event. What you thought of the panelists, both our expert panel, our business owners panel, and then the breakouts. So anybody want to unmute themselves and share?
I'd like to share.
Yes.
So hi, Mary. I've actually worked with you. Can you guys see me? I don't see
Yes.
myself.
And I remember
Okay.
you.
Yes, good to see you again. Good to hear
Good to
from
see you
you. So yes, my experience with SCORE has been really good so far. I actually enjoyed the panel sessions. However, I found that I got a lot more from the breakout room. The panel pretty much talked about how to get started, and it explained what contracts are and the whole MWBE certification, whereas the breakout room was more detailed and more like specific to what each of us was doing. So I really appreciated that a lot. And just wanted to thank you all for even conducting such a webinar like this.
Thank you so much, Tamika. We really appreciate your feedback. Thanks to all of you for participating. We hope you'll hang on the line here as we transition into networking with Rebecca Maxwell. And for those of you who just joined specifically for the networking, welcome. Yes, you will receive the recordings. The recordings will go out tomorrow, along with some great handouts. Since we covered a lot of information today, so many acronyms and so many resources that were mentioned. So you will receive the recording as well as those handouts. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Rebecca Maxwell to kick us off into networking.
Hey, thank you, Kendra. And I think we can probably stop recording now because the next bit is going to be a networking bit. So
yes,
not really
so
one for us to be recording.
Whoever's recording, please stop. I'm not recording, so I'm not sure.